again. This is the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda, and glad to have you again. We are still in the vibes of the new year, and I hope it's not too late again to say Happy New Year again if you haven't watched us from the beginning of this year. But we are delighted to have you on the show again. And today we are going to look at a very interesting conversation, work-life balance. And hosting this conversation, my name is Edison Masereka. I am a teacher, I am a leader, and a public speaker. And to help us unpack this interesting conversation, I'm having a panel of two gentlemen and one lady. And on my immediate right here, I'm having my very good brother and friend, Mr. Alan Mugisha. Alan, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for always accepting our invite to be here.
Pleasure is always
You've been well?
I've been
We thank
better.
God. We thank God. And then right here I am having our good sister and friend, Miss Nahawe Charity Talent. She comes to us from Healing Fortress, as you can see on her apparel. From Healing Fortress, she's a healthcare worker, right? Yes, working with Healing Fortress. They are based in Isenge, Wachiso. They are doing very good work. You can check them out online. They do very good work. Thank you for accepting our invite, and thank you for being here again.
My
it's your
pleasure.
Second appearance, right?
Sure.
We are so happy to have you. And then finally, we have a household name on this show, Mr. Onesmus Akankwata. He's a man of so many titles, but he's a lawyer by training. Onesmus, it's a pleasure having you again.
Thank you, Edison.
And thank you for always coming here to share. Yes, we are looking at work-life balance, and we are all employed, right? You are a virtual assistant. You are working in the healthcare, and also on Onesmus, right?
African Asian Initiative.
Yes. With you do legal work for them, like?
Partially, yes.
Partially, yes. Okay. I also do some work.
Someone else.
Also do some work. Professionally I teach, but I also do a number of other things on the sides. So I think we are the best people to discuss this work-life balance. Now we are on so many extremes. We have people divided in so many extremes. You have people who are so much into work that they don't do life.
True.
And then you have those who are so much into life that it fringes on their work. So we want to see how we can come up with a work-life balance, that we don't become workaholic. Work is very important and it's very paramount. We can't live without it. But also there are other things to do besides work. For example, we have faith. We have to build relationships. We are young people here. Very soon you might have to start going for dates. You can't go for them when you're working the entire day.
Actually, you might be going already.
You're the one who is doing the
They may be
all the
going
day
for
shifts,
one after you, actually.
all the day shifts and all the night shifts. You're the one who is taking them. You become too busy. But at the same time, you can't dedicate more time to recreation. Every party happening, you're the one who is attending. Where is food? We are coming. Justify. you know people like that. You don't have to everything. You just, and then you end up neglecting work. This new year, how do we strike a perfect work-life balance, and especially as young people, to avoid things like burnout, to avoid things like neglecting relationships? Yes, it's quite important. That's what you're going to be looking at. And so to start with you, Onesmus, do you think it's important to actually cultivate a work-life balance?
It's really very much more important, because if you don't realize, you'll be working long hours, and the money you're working for will be used to in the hospital in case things go wrong.
Yes.
You have fatigue and other things that may come because of overworking. So it's very much more important to cultivate this work and having also life balance as we trend on this life. I have a friend of mine who is working in those Western countries. So he was telling me that he's having two different jobs. He's working 8 hours at this particular job, another more 8 hours, and then the other 8 is for sleeping. And I'm like, is that possible? Come on, 8, that's 16. The other 8, then you're telling me the other 8 is for sleep and food and traveling here and there, and the rest.
And in their countries.
And when he told me that he sleeps for around 5 hours, that's when I also chose to adopt the system of, it seems we oversleep here. you ever sleep, and he's there doing okay. So, but in the long run, he told me after around 1.5 years, he had got fatigue and serious fatigue, and it was kind of costly treating him in the foreign country. And he realized that was because of this kind of work he was doing. He's doing these two different jobs. He's doing an online course as well. Remember, he's having a family to provide for in Uganda. And he told me, if you can try, strike at least work and life. If you overwork, you're going to end up actually losing out. Many youths today have this kind of thing that I also don't agree with. They prioritize their employment.
Oh, yes.
And it's their first thing over even their God, over even their families. And I personally, if you're going to ask me, Onesimus, what do I prioritize? God first, family second, and employment. But it's the other way around today. People will give their best to their employment, will do everything they can to please the workers and the bosses to achieve those higher levels.
Employee of the year.
Yes. They will give their best to this place of work and forget their family, forget their God. And now when things jam, the family which you've not even been providing for time,
the one that it has to struggle with you.
And you want them to now accommodate you,
yes,
which is going to be literally impossible because you've not been giving them time before. So it's very, very necessary to balance work and life.
Later, we are going to be talking about the aspects of mental health. You realize when you're not in the right mental state, it's your family which will pay the price.
True.
You're shouting at everyone at home. But you got that from work. Yes. Charity, do you think it's important?
Yes, I think it is important on top of what Onesimus has said, because at the end of the day you will retire and you will not retire from work. And I think someone was saying that at the workplace you can be replaced, but at home you are still the father. You know, if you do not work efficiently, if for example you get sick and you need like a week off, your employer will get someone who will like cover in for you, and they might work better than you, and you know the job is done. And so if you are giving the loyalty to your boss and not to your family, they might not be as loyal, because for them it's their business that they want to prosper.
And it has to go on.
And it has to go on. They don't so much care about you, but your family does. And like he has said, if you get sick, it's still family that will take care of you. They might do it as a duty, but they could have done it better if you were prioritizing them as well. And also, I think, like he said, the criteria of prioritizing God and family and then the job, most people think that to take care of family is to give them money.
True.
You know, and so they replace the present, and then they replace it with money. So you find the children are like, Daddy, we need you. And it's like, okay, you get me 1 million and go out to the beaches. So they go there, they are still lonely because they do not have a father with them. And the connection kind of gets lost. So when you retire, they don't actually know who their father is. They don't know what you like. If they are, for example, saying, let's also take you out, Daddy, but they don't know which things you like that they would be buying for you. So I think it is very, very important for us to know that someone was saying that if they are asked to introduce themselves, they would say, I am so-and-so, and I am a father and maybe a husband. But usually for us, we are like, I am so-and-so, I'm a lawyer, you know. So it's family that comes last. And yet, at the end of the day, you find that if, for example, as a husband, you have a supportive wife, you will prosper at work as well. But if you're not giving her, you know, the companionship that he loves and that she loves, and I know you all guys know that ladies love attention.
Oh, that's true.
So if you don't do that,
it goes
it's
without
really
No, it's really necessary for
it's
them.
really necessary.
That's the love language.
Yes, and I think
Our side, unnecessary.
oh
attention
yeah,
at
to your side. I
times.
think because you realize that for one that you have given that attention, they'll also be supportive. You know, they will understand when you come late, maybe it's because of jam. But if you're coming home and you're treating me like your sister and not your wife, and then the next time you come early, you expect me now to do the roles of a wife, yet you have been treating me as a sister. So it becomes, and now if you come from home and you're not okay, you will also not perform the other side as well. So it's really, really important.
Before I bring in Alan, there is a story, a high-profile death that happened in the country some time back, and before the person was replaced, in fact, before the body was jetted into the country, the success had already been, the position had been filled. And it was a powerful reminder to anyone in any position in this country that by the end of the day, you said the father has died. At the workplace, they will easily replace you. You know, when you get a health issue maybe at your workplace, it's okay, we are going to give you maybe a healthy leave. You go away, maybe a week, people are covering in your work. Maybe 2 weeks, they are still covering. By the time it goes to 1 month, they realize it's too much for the people who are covering.
And we can do without him.
Then they begin telling you, but you know, even you know, your condition is not getting any better. And before you know it, you've been replaced. But you've been putting your life on the line for the work. But by the end of the day, the company has to go on.
Yes,
but there is a child maybe that has been left fatherless. Recently, I was meeting another child, a child in top. That's a child of around how many years?
4, 5.
4, 5. And that child is in boarding.
Oh, God.
That's common.
Yeah, that's common.
As a teacher, I was very disappointed in the parents. Giving an explanation of, well, we are both busy.
And it is worse even when they bring babies home, something like that. Immediately after getting off the weaning and everything. Even before she says, Mama, they are already taken outside.
So, Alan, when striving for work-life balance and as you bring in your submission, why is it important to set priorities?
Well, it's important to set priorities. First of all, we are working for a life. You don't have to lose a life to work for it. That means we should always remember why we are doing something, to avoid being absorbed by that something. Even a football player, at the end of the day, there are 90 minutes they play. That means they go back to a family, they go back to a life that they're working for. It's very easy. Even if it's church, you can be absorbed by church work.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Very easy.
And yes, again.
What if you're a pastor and pastoring is your work?
Still has a family to go
you know
back
that
to.
even for a pastor, their first congregation is their family.
Actually, at home, he's not a pastor. He's not a pastor at his home. The wife is the one in charge of that home, not him. So never forget why you're working. Otherwise, you lose yourself to work. Second, as she had said, if at all your absence at work is not felt the same way it's felt at home. Your absence is valued at home, but at work it's an inconvenience actually. And trust me, the place where at your lowest can bring you back and accept you at your lowest. That's where priority has to be. That means even if it's to work, some people like right now what I'm working in is virtual management. But one time while we were doing internship, they asked us to make a program for a CEO who's traveling. But one of the things they said that should be on that schedule has to be rest time schedule for the person where they're going to do recreation. Get a hotel whereby there's a recreation center nearby and schedule between meetings. He has to go. Even the people who have made enough money, they know that at the end of the day, he has to get time for him or herself to reboot themselves. That's why our wives are important in the general perspective. Wives to them, and in the future perspective. At the end of the day, she's then supposed to heal you when you go back home. That means you should actually put more in this. At least if there's something comes up at work that you know is going to affect your life, inform her. She'll re-strategize and put the tables around.
Oh, thank you. I want us to look at the aspect of recreation before we go to other things. There are people that are so busy with work and they will never factor in anything like time off to cool, to relax, to reboot, things like that. Maybe a youth day out, maybe organized by your worship community, you cannot attend it or something like that. How do we factor in the aspect of recreation if we are to be effective at our workplaces, because it's important? Healing Fortress.
Healers.
Yes.
Okay, I think when we talk about rest, it's not necessarily sleeping, but also it's not necessarily going to the beach. Yeah. There's a lady called Barbara O'Neill. For her, she has 8, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of activity. So in the 8 hours of activity, she can do an exercise, she can run, she can do anything. Then the other 8 hours, she's totally asleep. And now when Onesmus was talking about 5 hours of rest, I was like, maybe not, because
It's hard to sleep 8 hours, man. It's hard.
yes, the 8 hours are really, really important, because the best resting time, the best sleeping time is actually like 2 hours before midnight, and then at least up to around 5 for you to make up to the 8 hours.
How many hours are those? Those
It's
are
around 8.
7, 8.
Yeah, around 7, 8. So like if you sleep at 9, count 8 hours and wake up until then.
Sleep at 9, as in 9.
At 9 p.m.
The day is still young at that time.
Imagine sleeping at 9. You need to watch NBS Live at 9.
Like this is the festive season. Pay attention to people's status. You will see at around 11:50 someone is posting the day is still young.
No, why it is important, because there's a cycle called the circadian rhythm, and it's now that's the rhythm that helps you to get off stress. It's like a rhythm where it helps you to refresh. Yeah, it's the rhythm that helps you to let me just think. I call it refreshing. The reason as to why we're having many depressions is because you're not resting enough. So in those 8 hours, the sleep comes in a cycle called the REM cycle. So that's where you are like deep asleep, that even when I tap on you, you can't even hear me. So that is now when the brain is actually telling itself, okay, the day didn't go well, but let's trash this one. The day it was okay, let's now take it to another day. So if you lose that, because it is what happens between 10 and up to around 3, 4, if you lose that, it means that your brain will keep the garbage. That means you will wake up. Some people will tell you that I woke up really tired, and yet you were resting, right? Because
It happens.
yes, people do.
Very much possible.
Yeah, it's supposed to say I have woken up today when I'm really tired. It's because that REM it takes place at around 10 up to around 4 in the morning. So now when you sleep at let's say at midnight, and yet it has to finish all the 8 hours, for example. So it gets confused. Now the confusion also enters the brains, like, okay, what do we do with what? So you wake up when you are stressed, and you wake
Have you
up
woken
when
up
you're
with a
grumbling.
headache? It happens.
Several times.
Yes.
It happens to me when I sleep late. When I
Yes.
sleep like at midnight or 1, I always wake up with a headache. Even if I wake up at around 9, I still wake up with a headache.
Because you have disrupted your cycle. For the body, God created that when we see darkness, we sleep. So, yes. So now, if you do not do that, then
Yet good things happen in the
no good thing happens in the dark. But like if that does not happen, then the body will look for how to repair itself. So the more you stay awake in the night, the more you disadvantage your body and your brain. You find you are forgetting a lot. You find you have mood swings. You find you have depression. You can't a calculation. You can't find it.
You're
figure
very
it out.
irritable.
Yeah, you're very irritable. Most people wake up in the morning like you're cold this morning because you've not gotten enough rest. So that is part of like literally sleeping, and then the rest of the beach and social gatherings and stuff like that. it's also important because as a social being, you need to relate to your friends. And you find that the more you laugh, some happy hormones get released. And it is true, actually, that the more you laugh, the more years you will extend on your life. Because the hormones are saying we are okay, and you're getting healthy. But now what happens is we think that if I can laugh on TikTok, then I'm good to go.
Yes.
Yet that's a temporary happiness, which leaves you even more depressed because you do not have attachment.
Yes.
Yeah, so when someone touches, I hope I don't do anyhow, but when someone touches you, the body
okay with
reacts.
I'm not gonna add
He's
something
even happy and excited.
See, just added something to his life.
Yes, when someone touches you, your body reacts to it. When someone looks at you in a very pleasant way, your body reacts to it. Those things you will not get them when you're just on your phone. Sometimes you can go to the beach and you're just alone. That's also not okay because now you will keep seeing people getting up and like, okay, I'm not happy, So it's good for you to get your loved ones, the people that you actually know, you love and they love you. So instead of comparing yourselves with them as you're on an outing, you instead feel their love. And the more you cuddle, the more... That's for only couples. The more you the more you cuddle, the more you hold hands together, the more you look at each other in a very good way. It helps your body to actually feel nice, and the more that the Bible says that a merry heart doeth good like medicine.
Yes.
True.
So if you're happy, genuinely happy, not forcing it. If you're genuinely happy, your brain will function like quickly. You will be remembering things. You'll be working perfectly. So
Be more happy.
we need it so much. And for us to understand, I think the reason as to why we neglect it is because we do not know the harm that it has on our health. But if I knew that I am forgetting money because I am not relating well with my husband, I would now want to work out on my relationship with my husband so that these other things that come
Can be
around
taken
will
care
sort
of automatically.
themselves. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I got carried away with
Yeah,
her
we too were
submission.
carried
I
away.
even forgot that you are here, but I'm back to you. I want you, Onesmus, to say something small about recreation, and then we can go for a quick break. And by the way, the word is recreation. You're going through like a renewal process as you're doing it. You're taking time off what you normally do, which is work, to recreate. Talk about it.
The various things that we normally do for recreation. I personally, I love playing soccer. And I love it with passion. Alan, don't look at me because both the legs are left side. But
You love it with passion. Okay.
truth be told, if you don't go through these recreation activities, you will never be efficient as you're working. You will never. You may come early, right? You may come before 8. What time you're coming? But your working timing from 8 to 5. By midday, you're kind of dozing. By 2-3 having a meeting, you're not on mentally. So these recreation activities we normally do help us to rebuild us. Like she was speaking of sleep, I personally, the moments I've slept 8 hours, there's a very big difference during the day. And these 5 hours I sleep. And that only happens if I choose, I'm like, no, today let me put up my phone, let me first sleep at 10 or 10:30. So going through these activities now and then will help you live even in harmony with people. It will tame you on how you respond to people, how you control your anger issues, how you do everything around with people. These help you to learn more on how to live with people and also help you to increase your happiness because a happy mind always bring a good working environment around you.
Wow. Yes, Alan, something small on recreation, then we go for the break.
Recreation. From what they've said, I can't add much, but I think from what I've learned, I need to sleep more. Because it seems I've not actually rested like for a week. Because for me, standard, I reach home at 11. I sleep at 1. I wake up at 5.
Doing what in those 2 hours? 11 to 1, doing what?
Wait.
Like the bodies.
And you're single?
Yeah.
Doing what?
Reading.
We
So
probably,
actually, there's something that she talked about that actually it does happen. You get a random headaches, huh?
yes, we probably him after the break. And me, what I've learned, I'll get someone whose hand I can hold,
Oh,
and we
yeah?
can be happy together. We take a quick break and we return shortly. This is a Youth Voice show here on Hope Channel Uganda. See you shortly. Welcome back from that very short break, and this is the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda, and we are discussing work-life balance, how we can be able to strike a balance between our work obligations and also our everyday lives, that we don't become workaholic or we don't become on the other extreme and we neglect what is important. How do we be able to strike a balance between that too? And before we went for the break, we were talking about the importance of recreation and how it comes in. Now we have a second extreme of people who give too much time to recreation and then work suffers. For example, one ordinarily would describe social media as an escape. I know some people at workplaces and someone is on maybe social media, maybe TikTok. And you know how it's like it's endless scrolling. You can scroll for 10 years and it will not end. It keeps, and people do that. And by the end of the day, you had a deadline for a certain report. It has not been filed in. You had a deadline for something to work on. You've not done it. You had a meeting. Even in the meeting, people are, How do we avoid that extreme?
Okay. First of all, planning. Plan your schedule. Even time for that, for recreation, for fun. Second, there are some people who actually qualify, have the qualities to work in recreation careers. Whereby you are definitely in the wrong place. But if at all you can get that very addiction and weaponize it, you can actually earn from it. There are some people I know whereby they earn less from their profession than social media. So that's another escape. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's good to recreate. Recreate.
It's correct.
Yeah,
I know you're thinking of procreate, but it's different.
It's good to recreate, but how you do it, when you do it, and how long you do it can easily affect your work again. So the two have to work in tandem, but as long as you plan well for each.
Lesmas.
Truth be told, currently we're having a lot of youths who find a lot of pleasure in these other activities than even work. Work is work. It's even biblical. And you can't survive without the money. Honorable Matia Kasaja said, money will come if you look for it.
Yes.
Not if you go out and spend. And even I ask myself, where do people get all this money they're spending? Because you hear somebody saying, I earn 500, and every weekend they have this kawatu simud. Every weekend they're out with the girls, with the boys, with my, and they're taking expensive things that you can't relate. If you spend a lot of time in that activities that you're doing to refresh your mind, you even spend more at some particular point. You spend more, and we're defining actually today. Many of us define recreating their minds or refreshing their minds in a wrong way. Some people even find it going to the bar and taking perhaps a beer, whatever the thing they take from there is a form of refreshing, which is not even right. So spending much hours refreshing your minds than prioritizing your work, you're going to lose your work in the long run, which is going to affect you and your entire circle, your friends, your family, and people that are dependent on you. If you're having a place of work, first prioritize it. If these other activities that you do to refresh your minds, for example, I have a friend of mine, she dances ballet, and she loves ballet. I don't know if that's the right
You mean
pronunciation.
you have ballet?
Ballet.
Ballet. You mean you have
Ballet.
ballet in this
The T
country?
is silent.
Yeah. All right. You pay for that. But
We have it in this country.
yeah.
Sure.
So she does this with passion. And from office and the rest, she goes and does this. And she didn't know that in some time, people come and watch her and pay her some money. But even when that happened, when people began paying her some money, she's not investing a lot of time in it because her first priority is her workplace. So viewers out there, and our fellows out there, if you over prioritize the recreation activities to refresh up your mind, you're going to spend a lot of money. That's the truth. And you're going to end up even coming out tired. Why would you go out and play football? Okay, football will refresh your mind, but why would you play football on these tough pitches from midnight to 3?
Actually,
I want to play that game.
People do it. I've passed some tough places like that, and you see guys are there like at 11 p.m. midnight. Guys are playing
People
soccer.
play. I also want to play the game from 12 in the night to 3 in the morning, and I had to wake up at 5:30. That day the head was heavy, like. I couldn't even relate the entire day. So if you spend a lot of time, then we're going
and one thing I discovered, sleep is like a debt. You may postpone it, but my friend, you will pay.
You have to
will
pay.
I remember when I was in A level. I must say I was addicted to my phone. Somewhere in senior 5, first term, second term, I was addicted to my phone and TV, and my grades were going down considerably. And I remember I went to a pharmacy and I asked the pharmacist for tablets. I knew there are tablets for sleeping. Now I was asking for tablets that prevent sleep. Because I was sleeping in class and every teacher was complaining. But truth is, I was spending more time on my phone. In the wee hours of the night, I would be on my phone. I would be on television. And I told the pharmacist, I was a very young person, I think about 17, 18. I was telling the pharmacist, I want tablets that prevent sleep. That prevent sleep, not the one that make you sleep. And she told me, what's the problem? Why are you looking for that? We don't have those ones. We only have those which make you sleep. I told her, to be honest, I'm sleeping in class. And she said, no, go and rest. Stop whatever you're doing and rest. Sleep is like a debt, really. You may think you postponed it, but you have to pay it at some point later.
However, just like a debt, there's a profit that you give to it. So like you could say, I'm going to sleep earlier in the day,
yes,
but you're not going to get the effective sleep that you could have gotten during the night, and it will affect your brain as well. So you will pay the debt, but with the consequences.
I used to believe in afternoon naps when I was at campus. Yes,
I
when I was at
personally,
campus.
afternoon naps make me sick. If I sleep during the day, I get a headache at night.
If it's a nap, you have like overworked yourself like during the day and you just want to like rest. That one is okay. But replacing a nap with the night sleep, that is not going to work.
Okay, now on that same note, Charity, we are a very, one of the things, and it's research proven these days, our attention span keeps going down, especially with the rise of the media, internet and social media and these things. Our attention span keeps going down. We are an impatient generation. And because of that, even at our workplaces, we just do the bare minimum to get paid. We just do what gets us by. We don't mind about the quality of our work. Maybe you're working at this company, maybe it could be baking. You don't mind the quality of the bread going out there, as long as you produce the number of packets they told you to produce. You don't mind, I am in teaching. You don't mind what the learners have learned, as long as your supervisor saw you attending to the class, you marked the scripts and you put the marks on, release the marks on time. You don't care about the quality of work. So we just want to get by to do what makes us get the paycheck. I want you to speak about that in regards to the quality of work we are doing.
Well, the Bible says that whatsoever you do for the glory of God. That's one. And number two, it says that whatever your hand finds to do it with all diligence. So we are misapplying our accountability. We think we are accountable to the boss. We think we are accountable to the one who's giving us the job. And yet we are accountable to God. You know, if you do the bare minimum, God will not be, He will not give you an applause. He will want you to do your best because He has given you the strength. He has given you the job. That's one. I think sometimes we take the jobs for granted. I think there's an episode that was talking about unemployment. Some people are crying that they don't have jobs, but you who has it, you're taking it for granted. But also, we are being demotivated. We are being demotivated by whatever is going on. I just want to use Onesimus as an example. If, for example, his team loses, he'll go to her and is like,
Which
no.
it does best.
I don't know.
Actually, whenever we lose, I even not open X.
You
At least
see?
for the next 2 days.
So, like, our motivations come from temporary things. Like, it's not something that pushes you every day. It's something that my wife has not cooked for me good food. And then my boss requires me work. What has he done to deserve all this work? Then you look at your boss. He comes in with the Lamborghini, and for you have maybe a bike, small bike, and you're like, for him, he wants what? So, like, the motivation is coming always from negativity, which is in the world, like the world is full of negativity, and yet that's where I want to get motivation from. But also the attachments that we are having, even outside work, even at home, we care less. Even when someone's wife is like, I know he loves matoke, but I'll just give him rice. And it is written that in the end times, the love of many will grow cold. Why? Because the more the world advances, the more we are pressed, and the more we don't seek for happiness from God. And also, like we have said, these social medias and whatever it is, they shrink us. They actually, research says that if you're on social media, your brain keeps shrinking, because the attachment, the happiness, the joys are all fake. Yeah, they are all virtual. You cannot, like I said, you cannot touch someone who has made you happy. You cannot give them a high five. You cannot give them a hug. So, like, everything is pressing, and we have made a mistake of not depending on God. We have made the mistake of, if I lose my job, the next thing is, when do I get another job? It's not, God, why have you allowed this to happen? And then through that, you are processing it, and you're like, actually, it could be for... I have a friend who lost a very big job. And then he was like, I actually thank God that I lost this job. Yes. He was like, before I lost, I actually thought that if I lose this job, I will die. I thought I would not eat if I lose this job. But right now, I'm doing something peacefully. I am happy. I am, it's not the job that is sustaining me. So you find that at work, we think we are accountable to our bosses. At home, we think we are accountable to our wives. So when your wife says, I need soap, you're like, get 5 bars. It's not you like reading through the lines. Is it, like having that attention and sitting down as a family and, talk, and is like, is that problem actually solved, or it is, So it's the lack of motivation that we are having and the misplacement of our accountability. Yeah.
There is something I wanted to bring in.
You have a submission.
Yeah, like in addition to that, in addition just to work, you should also understand free time and rest. I have a weird experience when I was working. There's where I worked, it was too much pressure to the point that leaving work office was just an extension of work. You leave at 5, but still you're easily accessible. Clients call up to 11.
We don't respect our schedules.
You end up at the point that in 6 months you've never rested. Yet you get time to rest. You get time off.
The workplace, people expect you to be aware. I think especially when you handle maybe the communication of the
operations,
company, operations, or maybe you're the one who coordinates the calls from the field and that.
But even when a phone rings, even if it's upside down, pressure rises because you know that's work. They are going to call and ask you that, is this done? Has this person called? Have you followed up on this person?
There's even the way they term it, doctor on call.
I think from that experience, I learned to separate my work number from my personal number.
By the way, it's important.
Very, very.
Because you end up working in your free time.
Onesimus, you remind me, I want us to talk about side hustles. Those who have in between their regular work, they also have side hustles in between, how they can balance in that. But there is something I think she had mentioned earlier about, like, those who are, someone talked about those who are too busy and perhaps they assume provision is the way of caring. I have seen that with some parents whom I relate with. You ask a child at the end of the year, has maybe your mom or dad ever come for any visitation days or any days they invited them to school? And the child is like, no. But this is a child who's going for every single school trip, however expensive. Fees is paid on time and everything like that. You have a generation of parents who have reduced taking care of their children to financial provision and material provisions. That a child of 13 years, 11 years is going to be given a smartphone of 500,000 because the parents think that's the best way they can parent them because they do not have time to actually be there and talk to them. Yeah. What do we say about that?
In one of the episodes, Kabshenga said that one thing that has kept his bond with his children till his old age is when he was busy working, irrespective of all the work he had on table, he never had a personal driver. One. So he took the initiative that he must be driving his children to school. And also, he rather leaves work, picks up the children and drives them back home. In the process of driving, since he knew he's always busy, he asked them, how was school today? How did teacher so-and-so treat you? How did things go? Which kind of food did you eat?
And babies talk, kids talk.
And he said even till today, when they are coming from abroad, he drives to the airport
to pick them. And I am sure even as adults, they have learned to confide in him and tell him everything.
Exactly.
Because they grew up talking to him and opening up to him.
Exactly. So if we don't give time to our children when they grow up, we're going to lose that connection with them. And that's the plain truth.
They won't. There was a podcast that I was watching, and they had hosted a billionaire. And then he was saying that for all my friends, of course now the friends would be billionaires, in their age, like in their aging, they are 80, they are 85. When you ask them what their regret in life, they will not tell you that I regret not going to my work at 7, or I regret not doing my projects. They will tell you, I regret not giving enough time to my family. Because it is then that you understand that it's not work. That, by the way, people's wives pray for their husbands.
True, and women, thank you.
They do. So now, if you do not treat me well, even in my prayer, I'll be like, God, my husband, you know. But if there is enough care, I will intercede for you. I will wake up at 3 a.m. I will make sure you prosper. Because, you know, you are balancing everything, yeah? So it's, like said, you want to have enough time you want to have enough time with your children. You want to make sure that they know that you're a priority. And like you were saying, children talk. So you have to make sure that you respect their talk and you answer them properly. Because sometimes your dad will ask you, for example, as a 5-year-old, is like, how was school? How was teacher so-and-so? And you're like, you know what, daddy, teacher so-and-so did this. And you're on your phone scrolling. You know?
Very bad image.
So, so it does not even make sense. So, like, when it's family time, respect that. Let your boss know. By the way, I think the reasons as to why we even do these things is because we have not set principles to our bosses, you know. We think like you be on pressure every time your boss calls. You have not let him understood that when I am at home, I am at home. So he is at liberty because when he calls, you pick. You know, so he might not even know that actually you have a wife at home. For him, he thinks he's giving his
Onesimus and Alan, let's talk about the other thing of work-life. Side hustles. Maybe I am a teacher, but I do graphics, I do emceeing on the side, I do, a few of those other things. How do I balance that vis-a-vis life, vis-a-vis work?
All right. As you're doing those side hustles, one besides the ones that need your physical presence, you can delegate. If I'm having my place of work and I'm having a side hustle, let me say I'm having a shop or something of the kind, why must I be there all the time? And from the work, I go to the shop and I sit there for the next 5 hours. You can delegate people and let them work. Come and overall supervise early in the morning or late in the night before you go back home. So side hustles are very necessary because we need multiple sources of income. But you realize the more you create multiple sources of income, you don't be in all places. That's the plain truth. So delegation of work and trusting your workers and supervising them and putting conditions that are going to help them thrive even without your presence is very necessary. But there are also situations where these side hustles need our physical presence. For example, you're speaking of being an MC at somebody's birthday, wedding, you can't delegate your voice, you can't delegate your words, you can't delegate anything. You must be there. So in such situations, first look at the schedule of your work, perhaps. Your work is mainly your priority. And
the other one where you get the
side
where
hustles.
you have a boss and where you is the main priority.
Yes. Now this is why you're the boss of your own. First, look at your place of work. Are the two colliding? If I leave this kind of work and go and do my side hustle, will it impose any danger to me? Will it bring any threat to me? Some people have strict laws at their place of work. Even if you just miss a day, some money is gone. They chop off your money, off your salary. So first, assess all the prevailing factors. If these people bring these side hustles early enough, have a timetable and tell your bosses, on 10th of February, I'm not around. Or else, say, Charity, kindly cover up for me on that day because I'm having ABC and D. Because the gigs that come and really are paying off way higher than even your place of work, and you can't just let them go. And
you get one gig for like a day, and it gives you your math pay.
So it's really necessary to first of all assess the impact of doing that gig at your place of work, and see if I leave, will it bring a loophole? Will it backfire at me? If it will not, then go ahead and do the side gig. But it's also very necessary if you keep on the communication with your bosses, tell them. And I love some people who are transparent. Some people know them at their place of work that, okay, I'm working with Onesimus, but Onesimus is also an MC. So in case you miss for only one day, they'll understand. At least they'll bear with you.
And maybe before I bring in Alan, the other thing I should mention is that we have to be so good at our workplaces.
True.
That when there comes a time you have to give an excuse for being away, they are not. They won't say you're dodging work or something like that. They can trust you because you have always delivered. It has happened to me sometimes, and maybe I want to ask for an entire week off. And I will easily explain, and my boss is going to be okay with it because they know once he's around, he delivers, he performs. And they know once he's leaving, he's going to find a way of having everything attended even when he's not there. But once people know he does not deliver, and you're the one who is again giving excuse of I want to go away, before you know it, you're being served with the examination letter. Yes.
Maybe what I can say about side hustles, ensure it's in line with your hobbies.
Oh yes.
Something you enjoy.
You love,
Because if you enjoy the side hustle, it will be like rest itself. So when picking one, don't pick something again too complex, because it may end up entering into your personal life. Actually, it's supposed to be in your personal time.
You see, not a friend of mine, but a friend was telling us of a scenario of his father. His father was with a group of men and they were jazzing. So these men told the dad that growing coffee brings money. Coffee has money. If only you have a garden, an acre or two of coffee, you have the money. And this man never had any idea about coffee. Never had any. So it's like, can I do planting and farming as my side hustle? Yes. For us, we even have other places of work, and we are vesting from coffee. So this man goes, gets a loan, buys land. He didn't even have any idea about growing and planting coffee. He didn't even know that planting coffee, because these guys, as they were telling him, they didn't tell him the initial stages. They told him, our kind of coffee we harvest twice a year.
That's what he looked at.
So he looked at all the money harvesting twice a year. So I didn't know that growing a plant of coffee, that one tree,
Takes around 2 to 3
3
years.
to 5 years.
In harvesting.
So he did. For him, he took a loan, bought land, didn't even have an idea. Because Alan will speak about hobbies. His hobby was never even in farming at any one point. So after around 5-6 months, these seedlings were even drying up. And he's regretting. The loan is maturing. They need the money. He has not to get the money. And so it's very necessary to look at your hobbies.
Because actually, your side hustle, some side hustles qualify as full-time
jobs
for some people.
Yes.
But if
I think our time is done. Let me bring in Charity for the final word. I am big on continuous learning and improvement. And if we have to be very relevant, both in our personal lives and also in our work lives, we have to keep updating our knowledge and our skills. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind. A few years ago, research, you had to read books, compare articles here and there. These days, you just put the right instructions in AI and within a few minutes, you have all your research. What do you say about continuous learning and improvement if we have to be effective in ensuring a perfect work-life balance?
Is when the brain is dormant, it dies, it rots. Yeah. I will use an analogy of the gym. The more you exercise, I don't know who of you guys goes to the gym, but the more you do that thing,
exercise in my mind, like workout is in the, it's a mindset.
The more that's what biology says. The more you use the body, the more it becomes efficient. So the more you use the brain, the more it is strengthened. So. And if you don't, of course, if you do not read, and learning is not, by the way, limited to just reading. Yeah, make sure that learning is part of you, that even before you leave the Youth Voice show, there's something that you have learned. Like, be intentional about learning at whatever place you are in and with whichever person. There's a pastor who was saying that for him, when he meets a madman and that madman wants to talk to him, he will listen. And he will get 1 or 2 things. So let's not limit and say that this time I'm going to be reading about this, and this, because some lessons are all around us. So let's be intentional about learning all around. Wherever you go, whoever you meet, whatever you do, you know that you are here. The Bible says that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. You might be doing some things ignorantly, and yet there is knowledge everywhere. So learning is very, very important, because ignorance is also not a good attribute of a Christian.
And ignorance can become very expensive at times if
very,
you're
very,
not
very
careful.
expensive.
Yes. I think our time is up. I want to thank you, gentlemen and lady, for your time and for having been part of this conversation. I believe that our friends out there have learned something in terms of striking a perfect work-life balance this new year. We have to take care of our personal lives if we have to be effective at our workplaces. But at the same time, we can't become so workaholic that we forget about the things that really matter. Friendships, meaningful connections, networking, and the people in our lives who matter so much to us. Let's not neglect them as we go about our work. But most importantly, factoring in issues of spirituality as we go about these different things, that we are not overtaken in some of these things in recreation, in work, and our spirituality suffers. Yes, and indeed it's possible we can achieve a perfect work balance. It may take some time. It may be hard to begin sleeping for 7 hours when you're used to sleeping for 3. But eventually, with the discipline, consistency, and putting in effort here and there, we can get somewhere to a good percentage. From myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, see you next time.